And so we see a nigga reaching and holding, and we see some other niggas behind him, like 50 Gutter.
Thus we see another district in holding, and we see some other behind them, like 50 draining them, you know his and whatever. And we see seem as though he seemed as though he going to up, so we recently began shooting. Yet as I don't genuinely hear individuals say that together, I don't hear individuals say you're truly here due to 50 penny. Like we know you due to 50 penny, while you're visiting about East Coast hip bounce you can't leave out G-Unit man. Back in the mid-2000s, these folks resembled rap eminence. They rock those loose jeans too close, looking out under their snapbacks or caps. It was a style. G-Unit was essentially a piece of the way of life, their most memorable collection, which is presently multiple times platinum, denoted an entire period. Yet can anyone explain why most people, including 50 Penny himself, need to disregard G-Unit? And what made things go so terrible that individuals nearly lost their lives? Now 50 Penny stands up on how he nearly murked the game after their fight, and how the amazing G-Unit was obliterated for the last time. Okay, so the G-Unit story starts off in the dirty roads of South Jamaica sovereigns back in the last part of the 90s and mid-2000s. Picture this. While the break pestilence was tearing through South Jamaica, three youthful firearms were spitting rhymes as teens. You would realize him better as Tony Yeo Lloyd Banks. And the man himself that he sent, now Betty sent, had a remarkable thrill ride in the wake of enduring being shot multiple times and get in the boot from Columbia Records. He even wound up boycotted in the music business. Yet you can't hold a decent rapper downright as opposed to tapping out. He hit the studio and dropped the unbelievable Think About Who's Back mixtape that was the distinct advantage that grabbed the eye to Obscure Records, who marked him on the spot. My director provided me with a duplicative Think About Who's Back, and inside the principal, several the melodies, I resembled Yohi's once again. By then I think we had figured out that he wasn't marked at this point, so goodness we get an opportunity to perhaps accomplish something with him. We should, you know, yet here's the kicker. Biddy's agreement had a little proviso that said he could begin his own name, assuming that he needed to. And that is precisely exact thing he did. He remembered his foundations, possibly he ain't. Manages two people he'd been spitting bars within those South Jamaica roads since he was a kid. And that was the narrative of how G-Unit became so. Look at it. 50 Penny Lloyd Banks and Tony Yeo were the OG individuals from Gun. And in the event you're interested, G-Unit represents Gorilla Unit. These folks dropped a lot of mixtapes like No Kindness, No Trepidation, God's Arrangement, and 50 Penny is the future. Yet here's the unexpected development. When G-Unit was equipping to drop their presentation collection in 2003, definitely ended up secured. He got seized for a first-degree ownership of a stacked gun as an indicted criminal. That is when G-Unit needed to bring in fortifications. And they got Youthful Buck as a transitory substitute for Yeo. It required some investment, yet in the long run Youthful Buck authoritatively turned into a G-Unit part. Currently, we should discuss Ask for Benevolence, which dropped in November 2003. And in a flash turned into an exemplary G-Unit, was at the level of their game. As of now, close to this time, they additionally invited the game into the gathering this evening. We're truly searching for someone to whip the game committed to. Just after the collection track was recorded, Dr. Dur and Jimmy, Iovine found him and figured, hello, we should advance this new ability through G-Unit. The primary G-Unit collections the game highlighted on were Lloyd Banks and Youthful Buck's presentations. And from that point, the game never thought back. He even collaborated with 50 Penny on tracks like How We Truly Do Loathe It or Love It and West Side Story Fun Truth Fitty. Even said he wrote around 6 tunes onto the game's The Narrative collection during this time. I like the tunes that he had was music that I made, which Right Not with Game With Me, How We Do Skeptic Love It Church for Hooligan, Extraordinary Higher West Side Story. Yet here's the wind in the story. The game never truly recognized or gave 50 Penny any props for his work on the collection. Rather, he asserted that all that Fitty said on the record was completely accommodated. He's doing things got pretty cold between them during this time. And for the video of their track Disdain It or Love It 50 Penny, evidently would not sit front and center close to the game, and selected the secondary lounge rather couple of months down the line. 50 Penny let the game go from G-Unit, and he didn't mince his words. Everything went down during a radio meeting on Hot 97. Betty directly upset he is proceeded to advise the game to remove it with the G-Unit talks. So what's the situation? All things considered, right now across the road or around the bend, he's not in my camp. Not the least bit, not a chance. So both of them went on a diss track bench, with the game discharging shots of Fitting in 300 bars, and running Biddy hitting back with his own diss track. I'm not rich, regardless lying, but rather, here's the kicker on the off chance that the game wasn't the main G-Unit part. To experience Fitty's rage next up on the rundown was Youthful Buck. So why'd Youthful Buck get the boot? Well, it went down 3 years after the game got the boot. Youthful Buck and VD Sense began conflicting, and subsequently Youthful Buck began evaporating from G-Unit mixtapes, as well as from a few G-Unit tracks, when G-Unit showed their tunes to MTV, yet wasn't even in the blend. Feeling like he expected to shout out, Buck chose to let the cat out of the bag on the press, trusting things could improve, yet you got it in exemplary 50 Penny style. He made a major declaration on Hot 97 on April 7, 2008. He fundamentally said Youthful Buck was out, and gave his reasons. Buck was broadcasting out their personal business, openly missing recording meetings, and disapproved of substance misuse. To Youthful Buck discharged back with a diss track, pointed in 50 Penny and other G-Unit individuals, and 50 Penny answered by recording a call. Man, I've been missed over here, man, you comprehend? I realize I owe you cash, you comprehend? I mean, to the extent that me repaying you, it's forever been on. I mean, I ought to have truly been. There's no reason I can sincerely say regarding me getting you the cash that I owe you. Would ought to have not pay everything except, rather to the extent that I never maintain that you should imagine that I ain't attempting to. That is the entire battle of what's with me presently. Fans realize this was the start of the end for the G-Unit. Assuming that you're a genuine G-Unit fan, you realize this is some miserable shake my head. Buck made his reaction to this move from Fitty, and he topped on it during a meeting with DJ Vlad. That is what he needed to say. Genuine man, tears they don't make you. __. On the grounds that you become profound on a discussion with your sibling, or in any event, so I never felt that energy from that part. I recently felt. __. Up from him attempting to play me. __. From some. __. Like that last had you heard, it's not only some standard call between 50 Penny and Youthful Buck, was genuine crying, attempting to fix things up with Fitty. Think about what the G-Unit adventure preceded. And this time 50 Penny had a problem with one of the first team individuals. This is the way everything went down, and how G-Unit essentially self-destructed. So the wrist began when 50 Penny and Lloyd Banks clashed. Banks turned down the opportunity to have Eminem highlighted on his third collection 87, was excessively excited, and took to Twitter to air his complaints, saying choices like these were the reason he and Banks weren't so close as they used to be. He even dropped lines like, I shot this person, he's screwing with my cash. I realized I shouldn't have screwed with these people. Going to say you don't need the greatest after this occurrence. 50 Penny and Lloyd Banks' kinship simply never completely returned, yet Banks, when the main old pal 50 Penny had dropped out with in February 2014, Tony Ayo freely expressed that G-Unit was formally separating. A few reports guaranteed that this happened on the grounds that Yayo and Banks were only not as eager for progress as 50 was. Ayo tapped out in 2014, saying he proactively accomplished all that he needed in hip bounce. And concerning Banks, his second and third collections didn't come near the progress of his presentation. Betty Sent wasn't bashful about it. Possibly He said he did a ton for Yeo and Banks, yet they didn't have the hard-working attitude to push accomplishment along. Truth be told, they even contrasted him with Milk,